what was the commitment of Jesus? To preach to the poor. To preach to the poor. And what is the good news to a poor person? Number one, the good news to a poor person is that Jesus became poor that we may become rich. Poor people are actually not used to good news. And the gospel is the good news. They are not used to the good news. A poor man is almost ready and almost wired to receive negative news. A poor person easily receives the negative than the positive. There is a subconscious wiring. It is easy for a poor man to believe they have been bewitched than for them to believe they are blessed with all spiritual blessings. It's very easy. Because poverty dehumanizes you. Poverty takes away your esteem. It takes away completely. So you become beastly. You become like a beast. That's why it's hard to preach the gospel. But guess what? Jesus, even though he knew all these things, he had a commitment. What was his commitment? To preach the good news to those poor people. That's a strong commitment. That's why not many pastors want to preach to poor people. Category number one of poor people is people without money. Category number two of poor people is young people. Young people are poor. Young people are poor. I'm serious. Poor financially. Poor by experience. Poor in mannerism. How many cars are parked outside? You are pretending you don't know what I'm saying. Subarus. I'm talking to you. That's why you see not many people want to preach to young people. They want to preach to older people who have money. But Jesus had a commitment. What was the commitment of Jesus? To preach to the poor. To preach to the poor. And what is the good news to a poor person? Number one, the good news to a poor person is that Jesus became poor that we may become rich. So Jesus is able to make you rich. That's good news. That is why you see after you start working with Jesus, the blessing you've received in heavenly places begins to manifest. Begins to manifest. And you begin to see you working out your salvation with fear and trembling. To work out means that let that which is inside you come out. So what is one thing that is inside you? The blessing, right? So when you start working it out, working with Jesus, you start walking into prosperity. I see Jesus causing you to walk into prosperity. As you walk with him in obedience, he's causing you to walk into prosperity. I was poor. Now I'm not poor because of walking with Jesus. Because of walking with Jesus. I used to eat KDF and Fanta. I was rich. Okay, then even poverty is in levels. Fanta is something. You, what do you eat? Black tea and KDF. You rinse your tea leaves and reuse them. The degree of poverty is varying. Warm water. So slowly by slowly you see Jesus is changing your life. So don't worry. If Jesus can do it for me, he can also do it. Because he has a commitment. And his commitment is to preach the good news to people like you and people like me. And the good news, number one, is the good news of he became poor that you may become rich. He became sin that you may become the righteousness of God. He became, by his stripes you are healed. So it's almost like quote unquote, he became sick that you may become whole. That's what I'm saying. Jesus is saying to you and me that he has a commitment to preach to poor people like you and me.
Thank you for watching This Someone. Let us know what has stood out for you on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so that you will always be the first one to know when we upload any content.